roses were living the dream.
To you, my darling.
No, to you.
Until it all came crashing down.
You got fired.
Fired?
On August 29th, stop.
You stop!
And see the roses. Rated R. In theaters everywhere, August 29th.
For the McLaren Formula One team, speed is everything. When every second counts, there's no time to dig through data. Dropbox Dash finds what you need fast across all your work apps, so you can focus on what matters. Less busy work, more breakthroughs. High-performing teams rely on high-performing tools like Dropbox Dash. Learn more at dropbox.com/McLaren F1.
Welcome into the Tour Coach, everybody. It's PGA Championship week, and I'm your host, Tony Ruggiero, as I am each and every week. If you're new to this, these are stories, interviews, roundtable discussions. Some turn out to be pretty funny because we're always having a good time, but it's people that I find insightful, knowledgeable, the people that I trust, the people that I find fascinating from traveling the world of golf, coaching and teaching, whether it's my home studio here in Mobile, Alabama, or my home for instruction at Old Palm Golf Club down in Palm Beach Gardens, or whether it's out at the PGA Championship this week with Andy Ogletree, or it's on the PGA Tour, the Korn Ferry Tour, the Live Tour, Epson or LPGA, wherever it is we travel. These are the stories, the interviews, and the people that I think can help all of you play the game better, or maybe coach the game better, teach the game better, as we have so many folks from our industry that listen to the Tour Coach. And PGA Championship week, folks, means it's your opportunity to go onto our YouTube page, DewSweeper TV, watch some of the videos. We've got new videos, new content going up every day, and I appreciate all of the interest in it as the numbers keep soaring, especially with the production and the release of a new Pro Work episode. For a chance to win a new set of Srixon irons or a Vineyard Vines Prize Pack or a Bushnell Mini Wingman, all you have to do is go onto our YouTube page, check it out, and comment hashtag Pro Work or hashtag DewSweeper TV or hashtag Tour Coach, and those will get you entered, and we're going to do the drawing Monday after the PGA. So I hope you enjoy the content we're bringing to you this week. We've got some great stuff. We've got great people coming on. It's going to be a fun and exciting week up at Valhalla. Before we go, though, I'm a changed man. That's all I got to say. Is everybody listens to this knows, obviously, big red wine guy. Been a huge rum guy for a long time. I always swore off tequila. I had a bad incident with tequila back in college, hanging out with my buddies Big Al and Rich. What can I tell you? I'm a changed man. I had the opportunity this week, was out at the U.S. Girls 4-Ball in San Antonio, hanging out with some folks, and tasted these new drinks called Epic Western. They're 100% blue agave tequila. My personal favorite is the Chisparita, but the ranch water was amazing. La Paloma and Brush Fire. They've got 4 different drinks. This is like going to the highest end tequila bar you can find, getting the highest end cocktail, refreshing, putting it in a can. I can't think of a better thing to drink or just kind of sip while you're playing golf. My first thought was being on a boat in the Keys, but folks, if you're in Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, or Florida, check out Epic Western. It is amazing. New partner here on the DewSweepers. We're looking forward to doing some content with them. But if you want the coolest drink, I think, to drink while you're out riding around in a cart practicing, maybe I should try it while I'm coaching. Check out Epic Western, and that's epicwestern.com. But just go find them wherever they sell it. You won't be disappointed. Take a sip, drive around in a golf cart, hit a few balls. Guarantee it's going to make the experience better. You're listening to the Tour Coach, and it's PGA Championship week. We got some great stuff coming for you.
All right, so here we are. It's going to be not the greatest audio we've ever had, but it's going to be good because I guarantee you it's the night before a major championship. I'm sitting here at the bar. Where are we, JP?
We're in the Capitol Grill.
We're at the Capitol Grill.
Louisville.
Capitol Grill in Louisville, sitting here with my boy Justin Parsons, one of the great teachers in the game. He's got a slew full of people. I'm with Andy Ogletree. JP, who all are you with, and what are you looking for tomorrow?
Harris English is Brian Harmon,
Luke List and Ben Coles. Four very, very good players, different types of golfers. So I hope I prepared them for the best. Straightforward enough golf course, in my opinion. Like, you got to hit it straight, got to hit the fairways, hit the greens. A little bit different than last week in Quail Hollow. There was a little more going on, but hopefully those boys are well prepared.
Yeah, I was going to say, going around the golf course the last few days, you got to drive it long, I think. I don't think it's like great for short hitters.
No, but the greens are receptive. Last week the greens were preventative from like a 4-iron, 5-iron coming in. Brian's out there tomorrow with Scotty Scheffler and Wyndham Clark. He's going to try and put his best foot forward. I agree with you. It's still not the best matchup, but it is what it is. You've got to play the golf courses in front of you, and you've got to do your best. And those boys all will.
Yeah, but the one thing I did think was, you mentioned the greens being receptive. I didn't think it was like there's plenty of rough around the green, but it wasn't like there's tons of slope. And it's not overly tricky, I didn't think, around the greens.
No, there's not. You can miss it, and you can, the rough's a little bit inconsistent. You can get different little lies and things like that. So I do think it will still benefit somebody who can hit it high and hit a lot of greens in regulation.
Rory and Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, Rory, Scotty Scheffler. I like Oberg. You got to think somebody like John Rahm might start really poking his head up again and get his little cut on repeat. But the PGA Championship, there's a lot of hustle and bustle. You and I know this. A lot of club pros playing, slow practice rounds, a lot of build up. Big for a lot of the American players, and it'll be interesting to see how it all washes out.
Yeah, I thought the golf course is in perfect shape. Unbelievable shape. Take me through a little bit. So with Andy, I went to Atlanta last week. We kind of reconfirmed some things. I was talking to Matt Rudy earlier about a little piece he's doing. I for the first couple days today, I basically just reinforced what we've been working on, and a lot of setup stuff on the golf course, just giving him feedback. When you take a guy like the 4 guys you have, how do you manage the first few days? What are your thoughts with those players going into the week? And how different is it handling 4 different players, different personalities, different strengths, different places in their careers, to be honest?
Well, it's funny you should say, you and I had a laugh earlier on about how exhausted you are mentally. Ben Coles, if Ben hits it strong and high off the tee this week, he's probably going to play really good. He's an unbelievably good golfer. He's proven that pretty much at every level now. Brian Harmon's at a different place in his career, and his iron play has, been really amazing. He sent me a text last night, said my iron play was 10 out of 10.
Maybe one of the best iron players on tour.
Well, he's getting there. And that's, I've been really proud of that, because that's something I always think, like the full swing iron play, putting pressure on the ball, being able to manipulate the golf ball, change your trajectory. I kind of pride myself in that, being able to teach that a little bit. Harris has made some great strides with his golf swing, going all the way back to the beginning of the playoffs last year, where he said to me, look, I need to be a better short iron player, I need to be a better wedge player. We got the club setting better in his golf swing. And Luke List, just a fabulously talented player. I look at him sometimes, I think about I helped Louis Oosthuizen for many years, and look at Luke List, that rhythm and the hard hit on the golf ball he has. He's pretty much together, and we've seen it, Tony. We do our best to get these guys prepared, and it's up to them at the end of the day. You've got to let them get on with it and do your best again to be in a supportive role. And sometimes you do the best preparation in the world and they're terrible, and sometimes you do the average preparation, they're amazing. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I think I said to you, but I was like, actually, I'll give a shout out to my wife here. But she said, well, hey, how'd it go? I said, I'm actually scared, because normally I'm like, it was all right. I was like, wow, today was really good, right? Like, we played with Rahm and played with Mickelson and David like shot 4 under, eagled the last, like didn't miss a fairway. Like I'm cautiously optimistic because it changes out there. But I also haven't had many times where they hit it like shit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they play good either. So I'd rather them have 2 or 3 good days of prep going in.
No. You want to have good preparation. Jack Nicklaus said that he could actually look at himself in the mirror and say, listen, have you prepared really well? Are you in a good situation to try and get yourself in contention? And if he could answer that as a yes, then he felt that he could go out and play some free golf. So, Harris is in that boat. He really values his preparation. Brian's doing a great job of understanding what it is to be a major champion and trying to embrace those feelings, and big group tomorrow. So those boys they're all in different. It's a big pressure environment. Major championships are a bit different, and you again from our position, Tony, we just going to try and help give them the best support we can.
So when you look at, you talked about it's a little different pressure. I've had this conversation being a major champion. How does that change how you prepare, if at all? And how have you changed your approach to working with a person that's now a major champion?
I mean, you still have to recognize that you're working with a human being. Like I've, known Brian for 4 or 5 years now, and he's like every human being. We have our own frailties. We've got our own, areas that we're confident in and we're not confident in. So you got to, nurture the areas they're not confident in, build strength to the confident areas, and ensure that you're allowing him to put his best foot forward. And if he hits the ball in the fairway, his iron play's gotten so much better. His short game's an absolute joke. His putting's a joke.
Short game's sick. It's unbelievable.
He's one of the more talented players I've certainly ever worked for. And I remind him, I'm fortunate. I talked about this. I'm fortunate to have worked with a few major champions. So guys that maybe I wasn't working for when they won the major, like Louis won in 2010 and Darren Clark and guys. But at the end of the day, some of those experiences with some of those players who've been through those things, and he's got a big group tomorrow. There's a lot of eyeballs on him, and we've got to make sure he understands that he's the Open champion. He's done something that many of us only dream of, and we've got to let him get on with it. And if he shoots 78 tomorrow, so be it. If he shoots 68, so be it. Let him go play some free golf and do his best.
So last question, it's just going out obviously tomorrow, PGA Championship week, first round. And this is a hard question. What do you think's going to win? Like number-wise, because I could see, there's times you're out there I could see if it gets soft, it being low. But I could also see with the length that it isn't that. What do you think?
Well, I had a bit of banter with Rory on the range yesterday. I thought that 8 to 12 under would win at Wells Fargo. The greens were so firm on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, walked the Pro-Am. Still didn't sense that much of a difference, so we got some overnight rain. And I said, Rory, 19 under was an absolute joke. And Rory was laughing, he's saying, that was pretty good. And I know he doubled the last, it was 17 under, so I'm maybe not the best person to ask, but this golf course is easier than last week's golf course.
And the field's stronger.
And there are more people. So, you got to think 18 to 20 under. And if my 18 to 20 under tend to go by from last week, 20 to 24 under might win the golf. I don't know. They can hide the pins, they can do some stuff, but I don't believe there's any sub-air out there. The greens are fairly soft. Those long hitters start finding fairways. They're going to get a lot of birdie looks. So 20-ish.
Wow. I thought it was going to be one of those weird tournaments where you would have guys shoot crazy high scores and guys shoot crazy low scores in the same round. Because I could see some guys not hit it great that aren't very long, have just a bunch of trouble. And then I could see a handful of guys each day get on a roll where they're driving it great But, even driving it good, there aren't that many wedges in. I know the greens are receptive, but it's not like you're getting 10 wedges in around.
A couple of wedges. You got one wedge on.
Other than par 5s, obviously.
5. You got a wedge on like that 13, little 13th hole. But I still think the greens are putting well. They're fairly soft. I would love to think it's going to put up a great challenge for them, but if the weather's good, I think they're going to tear it up a bit.
Well, I think that's going to be the big thing, what the weather does Friday, Saturday could get, But anyways, JP, you're always a great guest. You always are willing to hang in here and drink some wine with me at a major. Good luck to you and your guys this week, and we'll have some fun.
Tony, you're the best. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Tony Ruggiero. And look, recently, several teachers I know and several players have had some scares with skin cancer. In fact, I recently went and saw a dermatologist here in town, and I had a couple things frozen off, eyelid, my face, my earlobe, and not getting any younger. And I know it's getting to that time of the season where it's cooler, but look, being in the sun is a real deal, and I've not been very good, to be totally honest, my whole career at using it at all, because I didn't like how greasy it was, how hard it was to get off your hands, how it clogged up my pores. And then I found this sunscreen, Visor Skincare. It's clear, it goes on, it doesn't dry you out, it isn't greasy, it's like you didn't put anything on it. By far, it's the best sunscreen I've ever used. Without a doubt, is the easiest to use. And we've got a discount code for all of you. All you have to do is go to visorskincare.com, is use our code word DewSweeper. visorskincare.com, code word DewSweeper. I just want to remind everybody something that I forgot. Recently, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I went out. We went to a wedding, and afterwards with some friends, we were like, hey, where's a great place to go? I'll be honest, like in my travels and day-to-day, sometimes I get caught up and I forget some of the great places right around the corner. But I got to remind you about the Icebox Bar on 755 Monroe Street. I was blown away by just the whole vibe, the atmosphere, and with the Velvet Pig, the food in the back room and the big screen TVs up front. We sat there and watched some playoff games. I was blown away by the atmosphere, the vibe, and just how cool it was to have the Icebox Bar right here near DewSweepers downtown, near where I live. You're looking for a great place to go sit, watch some games, hang out, play some pool. You got to go to the Icebox Bar right there on Monroe Street. There's a good chance you'll see all of us hanging out, but do yourself a favor, go visit the Icebox. It's one of the best places out there.